Good morning, everybody. It's a fantastic day. Nice to be out and about. So, on the list for today, a couple of easy things. So, the bus drips a little bit of coolant, so I'm going to top that off a little bit. And for some reason, it's low on power steering. So, I'm going to fill that up, then turn it on, see if I can see where that's dripping from, or if it's really even dripping at all. And then, on the Porsche, easy stuff too. Trans flush, so we get some fresh transmission fluid in it. And then, got the burnout tires. I'm going to slap those on. So, let me show these to you. Yokohama A82As, 160 tread wear. Hope you can see that, it's kind of small. Hoping they smoke really well. And then over here, a box of juices. So transmission fluid for the Porsche, power steering for the bus. These are the tires we run when we want performance. 315s. These are what we're burning off. 205s. One of those other little things I think I forgot to mention was needed new coupling right here. As you can see, this one was apparently not of great quality and it's starting to crack. So, gonna take that off and then try to find something. Yep, that ain't no good. I don't think this is actually even supposed to be coolant system hosing. Just normal radiator lines. If you look right here at this one, you see it's got these threads reinforcing it in there. Makes it a lot stronger. This one doesn't have that. And this one had to have these little rubber couplings because, as you can see, one side right here, a little bit smaller than this other end. So we had to have something to make it work. So, I'm going to see what I can do about this. I'm going to look through the coolant system real quick, make sure there's no more. Alright, so, poured power steering fluid and coolant in the bus. Didn't film that because, let's face it, that's boring. I got the burnout tires on the Porsche. Pulled that coupling off. Need to go to closest auto part, see what I can find that'll fit that. Decided not to do the trans flush on the Porsche. And I can show you why real quick. Takes a special little tool to get the drain plug out, and I just don't happen to have one of those, so kinda at a loss for that. Probably just gonna send it and hope for the best. Not the best plan, but is it what it is. One other quick thing I'm gonna do here in just a minute. So our exhaust right here, the back section of it isn't really tied down to anything. It can just kind of flop around, which when you hit a bump, it does that. So I am gonna just cinch that down real quick. Got a metal hose clamp around here somewhere, and I'm just gonna tie it around it because, quite frankly, we got other stuff to do. We are gonna eventually make some nice, proper little mounts or hangers for the exhaust to hang on, but not a priority right now. I'm just gonna make it to where it doesn't bounce. Okay, sorry not filming it, but I just ran a local auto parts store, and I just bought a whole section of radiators. Now we have some extra. Cut the end off, cinched down there. And there's that. One other thing we decided we were doing today. So these are the original wheels for this car. They weren't even on it when we got it. It had some different wheels on it, but these are the original wheels for the car, and they look terrible. Previous owner or somebody in the past plasti dipped them, and so they're looking horrible. So what we're doing is, you know, wire wheel. We're just cleaning up some, and then we're gonna paint them.
These were hitting on the fender wells, so I'm gonna have to not park so far forward. Now it's also looking like that may have damaged our radiator up here and is causing this leak. Not exactly ideal a few days before Cletus in cars, but I think we just find out where it's leaking, slap some JB weld on top or something like that. Might be good enough to last a burnout. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's this support right here. Yeah. So that support, it was getting hit, It was wiggling. Oh, Jesus
Fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
so as the car was going over bumps and stuff, this is the mount that goes in this hole right here. This was getting jerked and wiggled like that, and
now it's cracked at the top.
now it's cracked at the top. So what we need to do is let that finish peeing everywhere. And then, yeah, I think get some JB Weld and just surround this little section as best as we can. Not a long-term solution, but we have like 2 days until we're leaving for cleaning the car, so we don't really have many options. Okay, so we're pretty confident we've come up with a solution here. So for the little cracked support right there, JB Weld. We're just going to seal it up as best we can. And to hopefully prevent this from happening again this weekend, what we got is some steel cable. And we're going to anchor from this support right here up into the bumper itself. Because these supports back here are not very good. And they hit the front tire when you turn too sharp. It's down right now, so it looks a lot worse than it usually is when it's in, but it still hits when you turn too sharply. So hopefully we're gonna kind of 2 birds, 1 stone, at least for this weekend. We were talking about it, and we have decided this probably just isn't gonna work long term, because these radiators are plastic all along the side, on both sides. They got 3 mounts. So, yeah, right, is that high quality German engineering. So what we decided we're probably gonna do, at least in the future at some point, is we're gonna upgrade this radiator and fans, and then we're gonna just put all of the cooling through the central radiator and just get rid of these radiators completely. Save some weight and get rid of that potential hazard.
We got this installed now. It is working even better than expected, honestly. Like, this really, I know that looks like it's wiggling a lot. Trust me, it's fucking not.
This is all just a plastic shroud that funnels air towards the radiator.
Yeah. But even so, this is a lot more solid than it was before. And yeah, this is just holding it. You just got going from this support all the way up to what I think is one of the headlight bolts, or was. I don't know. It holds it. But anything you can see right here, this is now nice and straight. And when the wheel turns, it clears just fine. Because before, we had this edge of the tire was hitting the mount that held this. So that's done now.
Yep, so I smothered this piece in epoxy, because while I was trying to get in here and clean it up and do all that fun stuff, I actually broke this completely off, a little by accident. So there's now epoxy on the inside of it, massive layer of epoxy on the outside of it. Got this little piece of tape just kind of holding it in place, but it's starting to cure. It's been about 20 minutes now, so it's tacky enough it's holding itself in place. It says it cures in 30 minutes. I'm gonna give it probably a few hours and then do a second coat just to make absolutely sure.
Okay, one of the final steps for getting ready for Bristol going to be cleaning up the inside of the bus. Haven't used it in a while. Been doing some work. I mean, AC, install all the electrical stuff. So it's kind of turned into a bit of a mess in here. So we're just going to be doing deep field day. Going to take everything out of the bus, clean the floor real nice, kind of make it, you know, livable for the weekend. Alright, so it is currently 2:30 a.m.
Is it 2:30?
Yes, it is 2:30 in the morning because we are very responsible.
We're adults with good sleeping habits.
Yes, the best sleeping habits. You can see right now, the Porsche is still having a little bit of minor surgery done. You can see I still need to clean a couple things, so while he is down there putting the car back together, I'll do the final touches on getting the bus clean, and hopefully roundabouts noon today we'll be rolling out and on our way to Bristol. Okay, so what time are we at now?
It's like 4:30. 4:58, so 5 a.m.
4:58. I have a job interview in like 4 hours. so I need to shower and stuff before that. But we're making good progress. For one, the Porsche is back together. We still need to bleed the coolant, but because that requires us starting the car and actually letting it warm up and all that, we're gonna wait till it's daylight out. Leave it up on jacks in the meantime, just so if it does leak again, we can see that more easily. The bus, got that cleaned up the inside of the bus. We're currently kind of trying to figure out what are all the things that we're going to take, packing tools, try to think of everything that we may or may not need. Hi, Wizard. Yeah, it's all starting to come together. Should be a fun one.
Porsche is loaded. Most of the other little things are loaded. I am just sitting here finishing up this video that you are watching right now. By the time you see this, we're on the road to Bristol.